The fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets in the empty bullpen, the only sound breaking the silence of our after-hours ritual. My boss, Cole Harlan, leaned against his glass desk, tie loosened like a noose half-escaped, his piercing blue eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my stomach twist. "Wesley," he said, voice low and gravelly, "I've been lying to you, to all of you, for years, and tonight I can't anymore." I froze in the doorway of his corner office, the city skyline mocking me through the windows with its indifferent sprawl of lights, a glittering reminder that New York never sleeps, even when its inhabitants shatter. Cole's confession hung in the air like smoke from a back-alley fire. He was gay, had always been, and the man he'd loved, the one who'd vanished 5 years ago without a trace, was the reason he'd built walls around his heart higher than this goddamn skyscraper. But it wasn't just that. It was the way he looked at me now, like I was the key to unlocking something he'd buried deeper than his secrets. My heart hammered against my ribs as I stepped inside, the door clicking shut behind me like a verdict. I'd idolized Cole since day one at Harlan and Pierce Advertising. His sharp mind, his unyielding drive, the way he commanded a room without raising his voice. At 28, I was the eager junior copywriter, fresh out of Columbia with dreams bigger than my student loans, and he'd been my North Star. Late nights, brainstorming campaigns over cold pizza and black coffee had blurred the lines between mentor and friend. But this was a line I never saw coming. "Wes, sit down," Cole said, gesturing to the leather armchair across from him. His office smelled of sandalwood and stress, the kind that clung to suits after boardroom battles. I sank into the seat, my mind racing. The clock on his wall ticked past 9. The agency a ghost town except for the janitor's distant vacuum hum. "I didn't call you here to dump my baggage. But, God, this promotion you're up for? It's not just about your talent, though you've got more of it than half the hacks on the senior team." I swallowed hard, tasting the bitterness of unspoken questions. The promotion to lead copywriter was my ticket out of ramen noodle purgatory, the chance to finally tell my mom in Ohio that I wasn't wasting my degree. But Cole's eyes, those storm blue eyes that could sell a lie to the devil, held something raw, unguarded. "Then what is it?" I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. He ran a hand through his dark hair, streaked with the first hints of silver that only made him look more like a brooding Hemingway hero. At 42, Cole was the agency's golden boy turned iron-fisted exec, the one who'd clawed his way up from a trailer park in Jersey to penthouse views. "It's about trust," he murmured. "And I need someone I can trust with more than ad copy. Someone who sees me. Not the brand. Not the bullshit facade." The words landed like a punch, stirring something in my chest I'd ignored for months. The way my pulse quickened when he laughed at my dumb jokes, the electric brush of his hand during client pitches. I chalked it up to admiration, to the grind of city life making every connection feel profound. But now, with his vulnerability laid bare, I saw it for what it was, a mirror to my own hidden truths. I'd come out in college, a quiet rebellion against my conservative upbringing, but in the cutthroat world of Madison Avenue, I'd learned to compartmentalize. Love, that was for weekends in Brooklyn bars, fleeting hookups that never lingered past dawn. Cole straightened, his gaze never wavering. "That man I mentioned, his name was Ethan. We met at a dive bar in Hell's Kitchen, back when I was still pretending I was straight enough to climb the ladder. He was a photographer, free-spirited, the kind of guy who made you believe in forever. But one night, after a fight about my long hours, he just left. No note, no call. I found out later he'd been running from debts, from a family that disowned him for being queer. It broke me, Wes. Made me swear off anything real." I leaned forward, elbows on my knees, the leather creaking under me. "And now? What changed?" "You," he said simply, the word dropping like a stone into still water. "Your pitches aren't just words. They're stories that cut through the noise. Last week's Dove campaign rewrite? You didn't just sell soap, you sold hope. And the way you look at the world, it's like you haven't let it harden you yet." Heat crept up my neck, a flush I hoped the dim lights hid. This was Cole Harlan, the man who'd fired 3 execs this quarter for lesser infractions, now unraveling for me. "Cole, I don't know what to say. This promotion." "Forget the promotion for a second." He crossed the room in 2 strides, perching on the desk's edge, close enough that I caught the faint scent of his aftershave, like pine forests after rain. I'm asking if you see me, not the boss. Me. My breath caught. In that moment, with the Hudson River winking below us like a co-conspirator, I did. I saw the boy from Jersey who'd hidden his first crush behind football pads, the man who'd built an empire on suppressed desires. And God help me, I wanted to be the one to pull him from the shadows. The next morning, sunlight sliced through my blinds like a judgmental finger, pulling me from a restless sleep haunted by Cole's eyes. My studio apartment in Astoria felt smaller than ever, the walls closing in with posters of Kerouac and Bowie. Icons who'd lived unapologetically, mocking my own half-lived truths. I brewed coffee strong enough to strip paint, scrolling through my phone for any sign that last night was a fever dream. But there it was, a text from Cole at 6:47 a.m. Morning, Wes. Coffee on me today? Usual spot. Let's talk strategy and other things. My thumb hovered over the reply, heart doing that stupid flutter again. Strategy, right? Because that's what this was. A power play in the boardroom of emotions. But as I typed "see you at 8, I knew it was more. Much more. The bean counter was our ritual haunt, a no-frills joint on 3rd Avenue where the baristas knew Cole's Black Americano and my oat milk latte by heart. He was already there when I arrived, broad shoulders filling out his navy blazer, newspaper spread before him like a shield. You look like you wrestled a bear, he greeted, sliding a cup my way with that half-smile that could disarm a tank. Blame the Skyline, I quipped, dropping into the vinyl booth. It kept me up, pondering the mysteries of the universe, or at least why you drop bombshells after dark. He chuckled, low and warm, folding the paper. The front page screamed about some Wall Street scandal, but his focus was all mine. Fair. I should have waited for daylight. But last night, I meant it. All of it. We talked shop first, tweaking the pitch for the new Nike Urban Renewal campaign, how my tagline, "Run the Streets, Claim Your Story," hit the brief dead on. Cole's praise was effusive, his hand gesturing animatedly, brushing mine once in emphasis. The touch lingered, a spark that jumped the gap between us. By the time our cups ran dry, the conversation had veered personal. My Ohio roots, the coming-out letter I'd written to my dad, who'd never replied. His Jersey summers dodging questions about why he never brought girls home. "You're brave, Wes," he said as we stepped onto the sidewalk, the city pulse thrumming around us. Horns blaring, pedestrians dodging like schools of fish. I envied that in you from the start. Me? I buried mine until it nearly choked me. I stopped, turning to face him amid the chaos. "Then dig it up. With me." His eyes searched mine, and for a heartbeat, the world narrowed to just us. Then he nodded, decisive. "Dinner tonight? My place. No suites, no agendas." My yes was immediate, a leap off the ledge I'd been teetering on. Cole's brownstone in Brooklyn Heights was a revelation. Exposed brick walls lined with first-edition Hemingways, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves groaning under photography tomes. Ethan's, I guessed, and a kitchen that smelled of garlic and red wine even before he started cooking. He moved with easy grace, sleeves rolled to his elbows, revealing forearms corded from weekend hikes upstate. I perched on a stool, wine glass in hand, watching him chop onions with the precision of a surgeon. "This is surreal," I admitted, swirling the Cabernet. "Boss man in an apron. Who knew?" He glanced up, knife pausing. "Cole. Just Cole tonight. And yeah, it's been a while since I've done this." Ethan hated cooking, said it tethered him. Me? I find peace in it. The name hung, not awkward but honest. We talked about him over seared scallops and risotto. How Ethan's laugh could light a room, how his betrayal, or was it survival, left Cole adrift. "I thought love was a liability," Cole confessed, plating dessert. A simple tiramisu he'd insisted on making from scratch. "Until you reminded me it's the only asset worth risking." We ate on the rooftop deck, fairy lights strung against the twilight, the Brooklyn Bridge a silhouette in the distance. The air was crisp, carrying hints of the East River's salt. Conversation flowed like the wine. My failed college romance with a poli-sci major who ghosted after graduation, Cole's quiet support for queer charities under the radar. Laughter came easy, then silences that weren't empty but charged. our knees brushing under the small table. As stars pricked the sky, Cole set his fork down. Wes, it's not just a rebound. You're not a stand-in. You're you. I reached across, my hand covering his, rough from years of handshakes and hidden heartaches. Good, because I'm all in. Our first kiss was tentative, born of that touch. A slow press of lips under the lights, tasting of coffee and possibility. It deepened, hands finding jaws and hair, but we pulled back breathless, foreheads touching. No rush, no devouring. Just the quiet promise of more. That night, he walked me to the subway, our fingers laced until the last possible second. On the rattling F train home, I replayed it all, a grin splitting my face. For the first time, New York felt less like a battlefield and more like home. Weeks blurred into a rhythm that felt dangerously real. Mornings at the agency were electric, stolen glances over conference tables, Cole's foot nudging mine under meetings, his feedback laced with double meanings only we caught. That line sings, Wes, makes me want to run with it. The team noticed the vibe shift, chalking it up to the promotion buzz. I'd gotten it, announced with a firm handshake that lingered too long. Evenings were ours. Gallery hops in Chelsea, where Cole's eye for composition made me see art anew. Brunches in the village, dissecting Sunday Times op-eds on queer rights over avocado toast. Lazy Sundays in his bed, wait. No, we hadn't crossed that line yet. Kisses goodnight at doorsteps, heavy with intent, but always stopping short. When it's right, he'd whisper, and I'd nod, savoring the build. But shadows crept in. My best friend, Mia, a sharp-tongued art director with a pixie cut and zero filter, cornered me one lunch.
Spill, hvitaker.
You're glowing like you swallowed a firefly. Cole? I choked on my falafel. What? No, we're just close. She arched a brow. Close enough that he's canceling client dinners to work late with you? Honey, I see sparks. But watch your back. Harlan's got a rep for burning bright and fast. Her words itched, but I brushed them off. Cole wasn't Ethan, he was steady, intentional. Still, doubt whispered during quiet moments. Was I his redemption arc, or just the next chapter in a tragedy? The first real crack came at the agency's holiday gala, a glitzy affair at the plaza. Cole looked devastating in a charcoal suit, his hand at the small of my back as we navigated schmoozers. You clean up nice, Whitaker, he murmured, breath warm against my ear. So do you, boss. I winked, sipping champagne that fizzed like my nerves. We danced, subtly, a sway to Sinatra amid hetero couples, his thumb tracing circles on my hip. It was perfect until Victor Lang, our sleazy CMO, sidled up, scotch-slurred grin too wide. Harlan, who's the arm candy? New talent. Cole stiffened. Wesley's the talent. Lead copy now. Victor clapped my shoulder, grip lingering. Ah, the wunderkind. Heard you're tight with the boss. Careful, Cole here's got a type. Brooding artists who bolt. The words landed like shrapnel. Cole's jaw clenched, but he played it cool. Old news, Vic, excuse us. We slipped to the balcony, the December chill biting through our finery. Ignore him, Cole growled, lighting a rare cigarette, his Jersey Vice. Vic's fishing for dirt. Always has. But the seed was planted. Later, buzzed on bubbly, I pressed. What did he mean, your type? Cole exhaled smoke into the night. Ethan. Yeah. But you're not him, Wes. You're better. Soothed mostly. We ended the night at his place, tangled on the couch in a makeout that left us panting, shirts half unbuttoned. Soon, he promised, voice husky. I believed him. January brought the storm. The Nike campaign launched to rave reviews, my words on billboards from Times Square to LA, but with success came scrutiny. Whispers in the break room. Favoritism, nepotism, as if. Then Mia dropped the bomb over drinks at our dive, the rusty nail. Wes, I hate to say it, but I saw Cole with someone. Last week after hours. Some guy, tall, artsy vibe. Looked intense. My beer soured in my mouth. You're wrong. It was probably a client. She squeezed my hand. Maybe, but protect yourself. Love's a pitch, you gotta read the room. I confronted Cole that night, storming his office unannounced. He looked up from emails, surprise softening to concern. Wes? What's wrong? Who's the guy Mia saw you with? The accusation flew sharper than intended. His face fell. What? No, it's not. Save it. Hurt twisted into anger, hot and unfamiliar. Victor's type comment, now this? Am I just your safe bet? Cole? The straight passing upgrade. He stood, rounding the desk. God no. That was Theo, Ethan's brother. He reached out last month, wanting closure. Photos, stories. I told you about the family disowning him. Theo's trying to make amends posthumously. Ethan's gone, Wes overdosed 2 years back. I didn't want to drag you into the grief. The air whooshed from my lungs. Gone? You never. I couldn't. Not yet. Tears glistened in his eyes. The unbreakable Cole fracturing. You're the first light in years. But I get it if you need space. I deflated, shame flooding in.
I'm sorry.
I jumped. He pulled me close, embrace fierce. Don't. It means you care. We held on, the skyline witnessing our raw edges. That night, over takeout in his kitchen, he shared it all. Ethan's spiral, the guilt that chained him. I listened, heart aching for the man who'd loved so fiercely he'd lost himself. By dawn, we'd crossed the line. Not in passion's rush, but in quiet intimacy, bodies and souls entwining under sheets soft as confessions. It was tender, profound. A ceiling of promises whispered in the dark. Spring unfurled like a tentative bloom. Our relationship deepened. Weekend getaways to the Catskills, where we'd hike trails hand in hand, Cole's laughter echoing freer than before. At work, we were professionals, but the undercurrent hummed. A shared glance across the war room, his proud nod at my pitches. I even met his sister, Lena, over dim sum in Chinatown. She hugged me tight, whispering, he smiles again because of you. But betrayal brews in success's shadow. It hit in May, during the quarterly board review. I'd poured my soul into the Pepsi rebrand, thirst for tomorrow. A nod to resilience, to queer kids finding their quench in a parched world. The board loved it, Cole championed it. Then, in the green room post-presentation, Victor cornered me, breath sour. Nice steal, kid. But that core concept, ripped from my notes last year. Harlan's pet project. I laughed it off, until he shoved a folder at me. Emails, dated sketches, my ideas interwoven with his like a Frankenstein pitch. He's playing you, Whitaker. Uses the talent, discards when done. Like that photographer ghost. Doubt roared back, louder. That night, I waited at Cole's, folder burning a hole in my bag. He arrived buoyant, bottle of Merlot in hand. We nailed it, Wes. Board wants expansions. I thrust the papers at him. Did we? Or did you? His face drained of color. What is this? Victor's accusing plagiarism. Says you fed me his scraps. Cole scanned, jaw tightening. This is bullshit. Those were brainstorming dumps, generic. Your voice made it sing. But the dates. My voice cracked. And Ethan. Teo. Was I ever real? Or just your way to rewrite the ending? He stepped closer, desperate. Wes, listen. Victor's gunning for my job, sabotage. I swear you're it for me. The real thing. Tears stung. Prove it. Fire him. Or step down. Show me loyalty isn't just words. The silence stretched, agonizing. Cole's eyes, those blue storms, clouded. I can't. Not like that. It'd tank the agency, jobs, yours included. Betrayal sliced deep. So I'm collateral? No. But I was out the door, Brooklyn streets blurring through sobs. Mia picked up the pieces that night, her couch my refuge. You deserve truth, not Empire Games, she said, brewing tea. Days bled into a week of radio silence. Work was torture. Cole's office door shut, our eyes avoiding in halls. Then the climax. The agency retreat in the Hamptons, mandatory team building on a yacht off Montauk. Storm clouds gathered as we boarded, the Atlantic churning gray. Cole and I were civil, but the air crackled. Mid-afternoon, Victor cornered him on deck, voices rising over waves. I overheard from below. Playing house with the intern? Boards whispering. One call and you're done. Cole's retort was ice. Touch him, Vic, and I'll bury you. But Victor laughed. Too late. I sent the board your little love letters, emails to lover boy on company time. Nepotism, Harlan. Resign or watch it burn. Heart pounding, I burst topside. Cole. He whirled, face ashen. Wes, stay out. Victor smirked. Ah, the muse. Perfect timing. Lightning cracked, rain sheeting down. The yacht pitched, guests scrambling below. Cole grabbed my arm, pulling me to the rail. He's lying, but the emails, they're real, personal. I never meant. Betrayal's full weight crashed. You documented us? Like a campaign.
No.
Proof for us, in case. Thunder drowned him. Victor lunged, slippery deck betraying. End of the line, Harlan. Cole shoved him back. Too hard. Victor teetered, arms windmilling, then plunged over the rail into frothing sea. Screams erupted. Chaos. Life rings tossed. Coast Guard radioed. Cole stared, horror etching his features. Oh God, what did I? I gripped his shoulders.
Accident.
Self-defense. But as sirens wailed distant, Victor's body bobbed limp, the storm swallowing secrets. Cole was arrested on deck. Manslaughter charges pending, the board circling like sharks. Wes, he gasped, cuffs clicking. I love you. Don't. I won't. I vowed, rain mingling with tears. The aftermath was a maelstrom. Headlines screamed, Ad XX deadly gala tumble. Victor's family sued, painting Cole as the villain, jealous lover, corporate tyrant. I lawyered up with Mia's pro bono connect, testifying to Victor's aggression, the sabotage plot. But evidence mounted, those emails twisted to imply motive. Nights blurred in my apartment, sleep evading amid news alerts. Lena called, voice breaking. He did it for you, Wes, to protect what you built. Guilt gnawed. Had I pushed too hard? Demanded proof that broke him? Cole's arraignment was a circus, pinstripe suits, flashing bulbs. He looked smaller in orange, but his eyes found mine across the courtroom. Steady, loving. I didn't mean to kill him, he told his lawyer later, me listening via speaker. Just stop him from hurting Wes. The trial dragged summer into fall, Manhattan's leaves turning blood red like accusations. Prosecution painted Cole as a man unhinged by love's rejection. Ethan's ghost, my affair the trigger. Defense countered, provocation, a fall in fury's heat. Witnesses flip-flopped. Mia's testimony on Victor's harassment swayed the jury. Closing arguments landed like gut punches. The DA. Harlan chose passion over prudence, ending a life. Cole's counsel. In protecting love, he reacted as any of us might, in fear, not malice. I took the stand last, voice trembling. Cole isn't a killer. He's a man who loved deeply twice and paid for it. Victor threatened everything. Our jobs, our truth. In that moment, it was survival. The jury deliberated 3 days. I paced Lena's living room, chain-smoking menthols despite quitting. Then the call. Manslaughter, 5 years, eligible for parole in 2 with good behavior. Relief ward with devastation. Visiting hours became our lifeline. Plexiglass between us, voices tinny through phones. I'm sorry, he said first visit, hand pressed to glass. For the secrets, the burden. Don't, I replied, mirroring his palm. You fought for us. I'll wait. And I did. Letters flew, mine verbose, his poetic, quoting Whitman on love's endurance. I climbed at the agency, leading teams with Cole's fire, donating proceeds to queer youth shelters in Ethan's name. Mia became family, her quips my anchor. 2 years in parole hearing. I spoke for him. Cole Harlan rebuilt lives, mine included. Give him the chance to rebuild his. Granted. Release day was crisp October. Leaves crunching underfoot as I waited curbside. He emerged gaunt but unbroken, duffel in hand. Our embrace was fierce, no glass now, just us, against the world. We drove to a cabin upstate, his sister's gift. No words at first, just holding, relearning textures, breath sinking. I love you, he whispered finally, by a crackling fire. Always did. Always will, I echoed. Life rebuilt slow. Cole consulting freelance, me pitching indies. We married quietly in City Hall. Rings simple silver, vows vowing honesty above all. New York softened us. Adopted a mutt named Ethan, with Theo's blessing. Hosted game nights where laughter drowned old ghosts. Betrayal's scar faded, not gone but a reminder. Love demands courage, costs dearly, but redeems. In the Skyline's shadow, we'd found our light, human, flawed, eternal.